Good morning, my amazing, wonderful people that follow our pages, Lily Mutam's TV and TikTok, Lilian.Mutambo. Thank you so much for 605,000 followers. I am so grateful. Nato Telasana. Guys, this morning I have a topic which I really still don't understand. It's still happening in Zambia. I've seen a video of a gentleman, a family member of a lady who gave birth, and the child that was born was given to them after a few hours later or hours later to the following day, and the child was given to them dead. Now, listen to what he has to say.
Umwana shishi venga wine ero barenje batinshike umwana nga wine ngateo katika shishi ivintu takwali kuchitika kuno kuno ivintu according na management ya Chilenje level 1 up bali pa pili umwana pa 13 hours umwana uli takwali obalangire nango umwana achero ni no takwali nango mo bapereko information nango imo asiko umwana achashani afa then uruchero ero baseta information kwa ati umwana ali from 14 hours up to 06 hours ero baisa ndatu umwana alifa so inenjishiwe what happened pali insta yonse so ndepo amwe bantu mutashani mtu afilisheko uyu mulandu there is no way umuntu ali kweteva bururu bakwe tapali wo baperepo information nango umwana anali lwala olo mwana anachitashani umala tapali base ndelefe beka ama medical nokuya ku UTH afuile munshira no kumubwesha ipo bamubikira umwana bangire pabini pabini kwa olokwa umuntu nango mo bururu wako awo but ero bale bepusha bale batu umwana ali tebwino but lero chero baisanya tu umwana anafa how come so inecho injustice kukuli abantu bali involve muri issue ya kuseta na kuleba kuli.
So we have heard what he has said with regards to the child who was supposed born alive, was healthy, to the child being dead at Chilenje Level 1 Hospital. Now, I have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the maternity wing and ward in Zambia, because I experienced a negligence with my first son, and that's why I vowed in my entire life I will never, ever, ever, ever give birth in Zambia, even if I can afford private hospital, because it was a very traumatic experience. I was young, and I don't even wish that experience on anybody. So according to the video, the gentleman complaining is saying that their child was born alive and then the child is no longer alive. And they just put the child on a bin and they told him, come and bury your child. And he doesn't understand how, when there was no complications and nothing was told to these people. Let me educate you guys a little bit about why we should never even compare Zambia to the first world. When I see cases happening in Zambia, issues happening in Zambia, and somebody will start trying to point at the victims to say, oh, you did this and that and that. Let me just explain to you my experience and what the Western world do. When you are in labor, you have your own private room, government hospital. When you are admitted, whether it's a C-section, whether it's an induction, you get tags. And those tags are the tags that they print in advance for the baby. The baby is born, the baby already has a number called the NHS number. That's what they do. So they already prepare in their system, and they will name that child baby Mutambo, baby whatsoever. And when the child is born, immediately the child already has tags on their wrist, on their leg. Okay? So I don't understand how a child would be born, the mother has not had access to their child, and then after so many hours into the following day, the mother is expected to accept that the child is dead. Where's my child? I would equally be asking where my child is. What happened to giving birth to your child and your child is put on your chest, you have contact and you breastfeed? That's what the Western world do. Immediately your child is born, the child is put on your chest, you breastfeed the baby. Okay? After breastfeeding the baby, you have your own crib where the baby will be sleeping in there. Okay? after some time, you'll be now moved to the maternity ward with your baby having tags. And even if you don't have family, like this lady had no family. I gave birth to Daniela when it was during COVID times and they were very strict in hospitals. I was alone there. I didn't come back home saying, I don't know whether they've given me the correct child or not. It's about accountability. For how long are we going to be allowing these hospitals to be so negligent and not care about the people who are coming from low-income families? Okay. The reason why the government provides those hospitals is for everybody who is not even a taxpayer, regardless of whether you're a taxpayer or not, to benefit from the government resources. So if I come to a hospital to give birth, I am expecting you to give me a bed because it is your responsibility as government to give me a bed. Whether you like it or not, I'm part of the people who are increasing the population and the future generation of Zambia. And secondly, you have to make sure you give me tags and you have to inform my family that I have been admitted. And in case there's a C-section going on, my family needs to be aware. So I don't understand how a mother would be admitted and then doesn't even know who the child is, and then is given a dead baby. Is there some form of sacrifice going on somewhere? Okay, for me, that's what I'm thinking. For those of you who watched testimonies from somebody like Anne, who shared about how life is spiritual, she stated that people sacrifice babies. They go in hospitals working to be pretending to be hospital staff. And when they are working in those hospitals, they deliver babies. You just hear that the baby is dead because they've sacrificed the baby. I want answers as well. This is not my baby, but I want to know what has happened to a Zambian child. Because I am a Zambian citizen and I want to know what has happened to a Zambian child. Where is this child? Who was the last person with this child? How can you present to me a dead baby? And why should you put a baby on the bin? A baby is not trash. This is a life. Honestly, the levels of carelessness and lack of accountability is way too much. How can you not even give the mother the baby from the time she gave birth? You wait till 6 o'clock to inform her that the baby is dead. How? How? Did you deprive the baby of oxygen? Did you check if the baby needed to be in a neonatal unit? Do you even care? Like, why are you doing this profession if you don't care about these people? This is not the first. This is not the second. This is so many cases. And somebody sent me a message saying, Madam Lily, my 16-year-old niece was giving birth and the child fell in a bucket. Like, where are you? And it reminds me of my experience. When I was calling the midwives, like, I can feel the baby. That was my first child, but God instincts tell you that it's time to give birth. I can feel the baby, I was saying. I can feel the baby, I can feel the baby. Aiwe. And they gave me a student nurse. I will never forget that. You give me a student nurse to start practicing, to learn on me. And guess what she did? After I gave birth, right? She didn't even know how to remove the placenta. She pulled out the umbilical cord and the placenta was left in my tummy. I had 5 minutes to survive. Oh, I would be dead by now. I'm here to tell the story because it happened to me in Zambia at UTH. And I will never, ever, ever forget that experience. That is why I don't recommend any of my families to give birth in UTH. I was even paying, it was high cost, but still, I was given a student in high cost. And I was given a bed next to a lady because we went to the delivery room. We were both induced. The other lady was deaf. And by God's grace, she gave birth. I just said, no nurse, nothing. And we're having babies being given birth on the floor. Where is the level of accountability? Like, next year is elections. We will be promised all sorts of things. And yet women keep on being neglected. I will repeat this. The moment you start supporting the healthcare of women, we will see a change and a shift in Zambia. We have already heard the US ambassador to Zambia telling us that the medical supplies that they give, nobody is even accounting for them. They are stealing. That's what he said. Systematic theft. Probably some of the people are even opening private pharmacies and selling the medications that are supposed to be free for the Zambian people. And therefore, they've decided to cut out $50 million. It's an embarrassing situation. We are begging and at the same time even stealing on top of begging. Where is accountability? Like, what is going on? So this child is missing and we need answers. We need to know what happened to the child, and also to the father and the mother, do a DNA test. Make sure that is your child, because you can be given any child, say it's your child. But even if it's your child and your child is normal, we need to do a postmortem to find out what killed the baby. This is pathetic. I don't expect any woman to go to the hospital with no complications and then come back with a dead baby. I've never heard of this before. Why is this happening in Africa all the time? Somebody somewhere is sacrificing these babies. I therefore sympathize with this family, and we have to try by all means to support them. And Crown TV is the one that brought up this story. We need to follow on this story. We need to see what is going on. People need to be fired from their jobs. It seems they don't understand why they are there. Do you really have a passion? I mean, there's no way you can admit somebody for more than 24 hours and not even inform a family member to say, okay, I think there's an issue here. You wait for the following day. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm not going to come to your hospital, fine, okay, with no complications of the baby, only to be told that the baby is dead. Have you swapped the baby? Have you stolen the baby? We need to know if this baby has been stolen. So we'll start with the DNA first before we conclude. When the DNA results come out, we'll know if that's their baby, and then we need answers. What happened to their baby? So guys, that's the story that is going on. I don't even know when we're going to develop as Africa. We are still 1,000 years behind. Every day there's issue. Every day there's issue. With all the money, natural resources we have, we are still living in abject poverty. Still having a mentality of poverty. People don't even care because they have not been paid. Salaries, what? Oh. Anyway, guys, it's upsetting, honestly. It's really, really upsetting. I can only sympathize with the family. This is Lily Matams TV.